Okay, we're going to talk through common formative assessments. First, we'll talk about what they are and what their purpose is, and then we'll talk about what our next steps for common formative assessments look like. So, when we talk first of what common formative assessments are, or CFAs, all students are taking the same common assessment, test, or graded on the same rubric to know where each student is at in relation to a particular standard. The standard that we're going to talk about first is standards number and operations in base 10 for second grade. So we'll talk through understanding place value in these four standards here shortly. So first you have to obviously pick a standard to have a common form assessment around, but the purpose is to help you inform decisions on tier 1 instruction, intervention groups, and groups for students. It's easiest to do as a test, but it can also be a rubric like we talked about up here. It's a common formative assessment test or rubric that helps you know where each student is at in relation to a standard. So the first thing we need to do is identify which standards you want to work on. Always we're choosing priority standards. So we could choose our ELA priority standards, but I will also tell you that this is actually easier probably to do starting off in math. So if it's up to your team on how you want to choose it, just let me know which standard you want to choose, and then we end up creating a common form of assessment around it. So what we do is we could go to a standard. So right here is the writing first grade second standard that we created as here's our proficiency scale. For you always want to go to where your I can statements are, and then right here this is like I said, unit 2 for math. And I showed you the standards that they were at. Right here we have our I can statements listed out here. So we're just going to talk through the first two standards here. These two standards for understanding place value. The second grade team went through all four, and they can show you a really great example of how to assess that. But just for simplicity's sake, we'll talk through 1 through 2. So if I look at the first part of the standard, it talks about understanding that 3 digits of a 3-digit number represent amounts of hundreds, tens, and ones. So they talk about examples here, give you some different things to take a look at. So the second grade team just explained is, I can explain how 10 groups of 10 equal 100. So what we would do as a standard now is ask the question of, okay, does this assessment actually assess this I can statement? That's a question you need to be thinking on here. So are we actually assessing what this is asking us to do? So this is the first part of their Unit 2 test, which shows 800. 800 tens, 8 tens, 80 ones, or 800s. So you can come back and say, okay, does this explain how 10 groups of 10 equal 100? You could make that argument, but you could also talk as a team of, okay, is there a way that we can really strengthen this question and make it to where we know for sure, yes, this is exactly what we're going towards here. And then another thing that you can talk through here. So they have questions 2, 3, and 4 here. These end up going through standard 2-2. So I'll just simplify it and we'll go through the I can statements. I can identify the digits in a 3-digit number, and I can show the 3-digit numbers in standard form and base 10 form. So let's just talk about this I can statement here. I can show 3-digit numbers in standard form and in base 10's form. So really, that's exactly what this question is asking. Match the number to standard form. So we're asking them to really identify base 10's here, as well as matching it to which one goes where, and how does this end up shaking out. And then same thing for question 3 here. Which number do base 10 blocks show? So it's asking really to be able to do both of these I can statements. I can identify a 3-digit number, and I can show 3-digit numbers. So that's how that conversation would look. Really, the biggest question that we're taking a look at is, are these I can statements on our current assessments that we have? We've already unwrapped these standards, especially in writing, in ELA. are they truly actually answering what we're looking for here? So choose a standard that you know is coming up that you're going to be assessing soon. Doesn't need to be, next week, but it could be the next unit that you're moving on to. You, like I said, you can do it for math. You can also do it for ELA. But choose a standard. Shoot me an email and let me know which standard you're looking at, and you're really looking through. Okay, what is our I can statement, and does this truly match what we're looking for here?